Hi there, today I'll be walking you through the setting up of your TimeKeeper trial step by step. Once you've entered in your details, ticked the terms and conditions, and undergone verification, we are ready to kick off. When we begin our free trial, we are welcomed to the platform and presented with our guided setup. I'd recommend taking the opportunity to read through each of the questions and selecting yes or no based on which option would work for your setup best. It's worth noting that these settings are not set in stone, meaning you can tweak, adjust, and change them later on to see which works best for your business. However, the guided setup is a great way to get the ball rolling. When setting up a geofence around a job, we typically recommend setting it to in and around 100 meters. This is to account for the different GPSs on mobile phones or mobile devices. When it comes to adding an employee, they will receive an invite to the email address you've entered. We'd suggest for employees to keep an eye on their email inbox and their spam folder, as sometimes the invite can land in there. When adding in your first job, you can use the drop-down menu to identify the job's location. Once you've identified the job's location, you can use the red pin to drag and drop where exactly you'd like the pin to be, as well as the geofence. You can then download the app on your mobile device and log in using the same email and password you used when registering. When you are logged in, as you are an admin, you'll be asked to select either kiosk mode or employee mode. You can select the mode that applies and get clocked in. I'd recommend at this stage to go back to your previous step and click on Exit Onboarding. This will bring you directly into the web portal. At the top, you can see there's an orange prompt that tells me I need to confirm the email associated with my account. As a first port of call, I'm going to head into my email inbox and confirm this. Once again, keep an eye on the spam folder, as sometimes it can land in here. Once that's confirmed, it's time to explore. As an admin, the web portal will be your home. It's where you'll have visibility over everything, from jobs, employees, timesheets, to expenses, requests, leave, you name it. In this clip, I'm taking a scroll through the different tabs of an employee profile. I'd like to draw your attention to the Access and Permissions tab. If an employee came to you and said that they weren't able to clock in, as an admin, I'd encourage you to head over to this tab and see the permissions that they've got configured. Here you can establish how you'd like the employee to be able to clock in and out. At Clover Construction, I've got multiple teams with different working patterns and different hours. Follow along as I set up the working pattern for the workshop team. They work 8 to 4 and receive a 30-minute break. If we head over to jobs, here I can view the details of the job that we set up earlier in the guided setup. We can also make changes. Overall, I can view a number of details such as a job description, the job's budgeted hours, and I can also restrict the visibility of this job to certain teams or certain employees. Tom Clover is the team manager of the workshop team. Stay tuned as we set up his profile, apply his working pattern, and set him up as the team manager. Naturally, I'd encourage you to take the time to enter in the employee's information into each of the fields provided. However, for the purpose of this demo, I'd like to draw your attention to the internal employee ID number here at the bottom. Using this field, we can map an employee directly to their works number or their employee reference number in the payroll software. As you go through the system, adding employees, setting up working patterns, jobs, etc., be sure to save as you go along. I've gone ahead and added a couple more employees to the system, specifically my employees that are part of the workshop team. We're now going to create this team on TimeKeeper. Earlier, I neglected to assign Tom as a team manager, so I'm going to head back to Tom's profile and go to the Access and Permissions tab and assign him as a team manager of the workshop team. You might be curious to know, what are these green envelopes and what do they mean? Employee invites are only valid for 7 days. After this, the admin must then resend a new invite by clicking the green envelope next to an employee's name in this directory. If there is no green envelope, this means that the employee has already accepted their invite and set a password. Zooming in on Ellie for a minute, here I can go through the different tabs on her employee profile. I can apply the working pattern that's relevant to her and also set her leave entitlement. Ellie is entitled to 28 days leave, including bank holidays. To automatically add public holidays to your employees' leave records, we can create a public holiday group. You can select the region and the year to automatically generate the correct public holiday dates for that year. This can be added to individuals' profiles, or you can simply select all employees to be a part of this bank holiday group. Public holidays are always set as non-deductible, but you can select if they are paid or unpaid here. As Ellie receives bank holidays as part of her leave entitlement, I'm going to set her leave entitlement to be net of public holidays. For example, as there's 8 public holidays in the UK and Ellie's entitled to 28 days, Ellie's entitlement will be set to 20. A question we always get asked is about certain leave types and how we can add leave types. Stay tuned as I go through and add a couple of leaves that are relevant to Clover construction, such as subcontractor leave, sick leave, a training day, etc. At Clover Construction, employees and subcontractors travel from site to site, so I'd like to set up a fuel allowance for them to be able to request via their mobile app. When they submit this request, they'll be able to select the date and the job it applies to. They'll be able to add the fuel's value, and also they'll be able to upload a receipt.